Bulginaka, do you know that cybercrime is becoming a growing problem in Fiji?
Cybercrime is defined as a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime, such as hacking and spamming.
Cybercrime is also cyberbullying and using fake profiles to cause panic and spreading false news.
If you're involved in this or know anyone who's committing these crimes, report them immediately.
I'm Polly.
And I'm Peter.
We host the Traffic Jam Show on City FM.
From 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every weekday.
Do the right thing.
In this bulletin, TC Yasa wrath saddens PM. Government takes immediate steps for rehabilitation. And delay in external examinations, results likely.
From the studios of FBC Suva.
Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama is saddened by the destruction caused by Category 5 tropical cyclone Yasa. Bainimarama began his tour of the cyclone-affected areas in Vanua Levu yesterday to see firsthand the damage caused by the cyclone. Provincial Administrator Mbua Penny Roko provided an update on the initial assessment carried out so far and the challenges faced by the teams. Roko says they will target maritime areas first before moving to the mainland. Pranita Prakash reports.
The Prime Minister remains confident Fiji will recover from this situation as we have in the past.
To come and start clearing the Provincial Council office, number 1 area, so at least they can start going back to normal life, and then they'll start looking at clearing some of the villages. You can see just about all the villages in Boa have took some direct impact from the cyclone. Really sad story.
Infrastructure damage is not really that bad when it comes to bridges, power lines, and other critical infrastructure for government.
Bainimarama is in talks with his Australian counterpart to get the ship HMIS Adelaide to assist in disaster relief efforts. He says the ship will greatly assist us with its state-of-the-art equipment. 6 teams have been deployed to carry out assessment in Buap.
And I've requested for them to be deployed to assess the damages, and I have very clearly said to the teams, we will focus our area only on the damaged houses, completely and partly. The agriculture department to focus on the livestock and crops damages and vegetables. Health, they focus on health and other respective ministries.
Post says they are also facing challenges in reaching out to the districts of Kumbulau and Wainunu in Buap.
Couldn't reach Tikina, Wainunu and Kumbulau because of the crossing at Ramsing, that is at Sawat. So we are yet to survey the 7 villages that comes under the Tikina of Wainunu and the 7 villages of Wainunu. For the Tikina Kumbulau, there are also 10 villages there. We have to assess that and put in survey.
Minister for Disaster Management Inyasir Ratu says road contractors are working on fixing the Sawani Bridge as it is accessible. The Fiji Roads Authority is also working on clearing the road to Kumbulau from Nambalembale. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
A team from the Ministry of Education is expected to start carrying out a detailed assessment on the extent of damage to the schools in the Northern Division. Initial reports indicate 28 schools have sustained damage and that the extent of destruction varies. Education Ministry Permanent Secretary Dr. Angela Jokan says they will also assess partially damaged schools to ascertain how safe it is and whether it will be able to accommodate students.
We have asked heads of schools to give us those alternatives that they may already have, making it easier for us to make decisions school by school. We'll be working with the infrastructure team and going out early next week to make those assessments and make those schools safe before kids actually come back.
Attorney General Ayaz Syed Qayyum has praised the resilience of people in the Mbua and Madhuwata province after the passing of tropical cyclone Yasa. While visiting the ravaged communities and schools, Syed Qayyum says a good number of Fijians have reacted quickly to rebuild and rehabilitate using whatever resources they have while waiting for assistance from the government and other organizations. Syed Qayyum confirms many people will be taking shelter at the evacuation centers for some time, considering the extent of damage caused by TC Yasa. Naivindamu villager Kitione Raikambula says following any disaster, the villagers react quickly to rebuild and rehabilitate, which has strengthened their resilience.
Despite the damages caused by Tropical Cyclone Yasa, we are still thankful that no death reports recorded in the village. We will just make do with whatever little that we have to sustain us for the next few days.
The Fijian government is taking a swift response to ensure students are well accommodated with the commencement of another school year in 4 weeks. This as many schools have sustained damage, majority of which are in the Northern Division. Economy Minister Ayaz Syed Qayyum says a team from the Construction Implementation Unit is visiting schools to assess how it can be rebuilt.
As you know that we have a very short school term, school holidays I should say. It starts again next month in about 4 weeks time. So obviously there needs to be some quick solutions to accommodating the students when they come back.
Fijians are being urged to remain vigilant as the risk of leptospirosis, typhoid, diarrhea and dengue is high in areas where there was flooding. National Disaster Management Office Director Vasiti Soko is also urging the public to bury their livestock that may have died during the cyclone immediately to avoid the spread of any disease. A team of agriculture officers will leave today to support the northern officers.
Upon advice from the Ministry of Agriculture, we urge farmers, should you wish to dispose your livestock, please liaise with Ministry of Agriculture in your respective division to advise you proper means of disposing dead livestock.
The Education Ministry says there could be delays in the release of results for the external examinations this year. Permanent Secretary Dr. Angela Jokan says with disruptions in transportation, particularly from Vanua Levu and the Maritime Islands, delays are anticipated in the arrival of exam papers which students have already set. Jokan says the ministry will also provide counseling support to students severely impacted by TC Yasa.
Markers have completed their first batch of marking and are currently marking their second batch. They are on standby to receive and mark papers as they arrive. As expected, several of our schools have been damaged, particularly in the North and Maritime Islands. We are receiving reports on the extent of damage and will be working on providing the best support within the resources available to us to ensure that schools can be ready as soon as realistically possible.
Up ahead, Tamadamu prepares for Super 7 series. And cricket will be selecting national team on merits.
Oirna ngone no de nunu enda bisi ni mataka.
Mersu sunga da kena loma dina kena mikron.
Sakena ngauna mitaro bina nora baksa ngai ka wala loma takina ngone. Dalabina oya wo meliki.
Bulre oya wo Samuel Samuli.
Nama kikira enda be mataka.
Oni tikina magrombuka.
Ni wai tini kalima na miniti me ona kina tini na kaloko. Ena Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibiti.
Pinda na mataka dan ramai na singabo.
Champions Tamandamu will be one of the likely teams to feature in the Fiji Rugby Union Super Series next year. Tamandamu were the winners of the Fiji Pita Mari Sevens and Fiji Pita Savu Savu Sevens and will be top contenders at the series. Tamandamu manager Ulayasi Mbola Lailai says they are now preparing for the FRU 7 series at a whole new level.
We are already buying a spot from that room. We are building up, we have a mix of players. We have some new players that we're taking to the Warwick 7. We got some old players and some upcoming players.
Newly appointed Fiji Pearls head coach Jenny Brazell will start work on her role by February next year. Brazell brings a lot of experience in all areas of high performance given her current position with Netball Queensland and Netball Australia. Netball Fiji General Secretary Lucy Rokoura says they've named a solid 25-member training squad that will work closely with the coach. Rokoura adds the team will march into camp at the end of the month.
By the end of December or early January, and depending on immigration processes, then we hope to get our coach in by February.
Cricket Fiji has stressed that players will be selected on merit for the national team. Chief Executive Alex Conrote says they are liaising closely with the national coach on putting together a team before the new season begins. Conrote is hoping the COVID-19 situation improves come next year so they can get their tournaments up and running. He adds players will need to earn their spot in the national squad, whether you're a veteran or new player.
And leading up to when they will be selected in their different associations for the Easter tournament. Then following the Easter tournament, it's all down to merit. There are a lot of players right now who've been in the Fiji team the last few years, but we've made it very clear that there's no one that's going to automatically walk into the Fiji team. You earn your way back in.
Let's take a look at the weather. Cloudy periods with brief showers over the southern eastern parts and the interior of the larger islands, Lau and Lomaiviti group, fine apart from possible isolated afternoon or evening showers elsewhere. That is your FBC Morning News. FBC's coverage of TC Yasa continues on our 6 radio stations with the latest in-depth news every hour. You can also log on to our FBC News website and social media accounts. Our TV news coverage of the cyclone will return to us at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. Until then, stay safe. Modemanda.
हमारे खूबसूरत देश फिजी में चाइल्ड अब्यूज की घटनाएं आए दिन बढ़ रही हैं।
क्यों बच्चों का मासूम बचपन अब्यूज का शिकार हो जाता है?
अपने बच्चों की सुरक्षा का खास ख्याल रखें।
उनसे बातचीत करें, उनके दोस्तों के बारे में जानें।
आज के बच्चे देश का भविष्य है। मैं दीप्ति
और मैं मोनिश,
आपके हमसफर। शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
5:45 AM से 10 AM तक
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर।